Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You may take your seats, please. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Zambia. Now we need to see your hands. That's our symbol. Zambia. 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 One Zambia. One nation. We are one people indeed. We'll do it again. One Zambia, one nation, one people. One Zambia. One nation. Indivisible people indeed. God put us together in this country in His own way. He loved us and put us together in this great country. And our job is to thank God for assembling us together to constitute a country we love so much, called Zambia. Let me recognize the Vice President, Republican Vice President, who is also Vice President of our party, United Party for National Development. Let me recognize our Chairman of the party, Secretary General, rank and file. Importantly, recognize our alliance partners, all of them without exception. And I'm glad that they are here. Former vice presidents, I choose to call them vice presidents, well recognized. May I also recognize the public sector, because this party is in government and government continues until after elections. So government does not come to an end or cease. Government is a living thing. It has continuity. It does not allow gaps. Secretary of the Cabinet, through you, central government workers, local government, and indeed others. May I acknowledge members of the diplomatic corps that may be with us today and cooperating partners, clergy, religious leaders. Thank you for being present today. Very important to recognize the labor leaders that manage our workers. And in there, the leaders of our young people, student leaders. Viva Monko, viva! Viva Monko, viva! Viva Moma, viva! Thank you. Thank you, monks and mamas. Thank you very much. Let me acknowledge our business leaders as well, who may be here. Capital, labor, working with government, tripartite partnership. Extremely important. Other dignitaries that are here, media included, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, fellow citizens of our beloved country Zambia, fellow citizens, we are here to launch our UPND manifesto. And to be complete, This is our manifesto that incorporates our alliance partners in our shared vision, for our country. One or a group must have a shared vision in order to walk through that vision. Policies drop from there, laws, regulations, procedures drop from there. If the vision is unclear, first, if it's not there, people perish. The vision is unclear, people will perish too. I think it's important that from the outset that we state that today is a day for the people of Zambia. We are simply instruments, agents of the people of Zambia. They are at the center of what this vision is all about. Today belongs to all our people across our republic. This manifesto, I must say, was generated by them, interacting with them in many spheres of life. As we implemented our 2021 to 2026 vision, we encountered citizens along the way. As we served them in many facets, we talked to them. We implemented our 10-point plan, as you know, religiously, even with challenges that are beyond or out of our own making, such as the drought, such as, really, for this government, the dead mountain that we inherited, such as the education sphere, water and sanitation, water supply and sanitation. We encountered citizens of Zambia and engaged them, and they made suggestions. They put their points on the table. And therefore this manifesto is in recognition of that which we won an election upon and work to deliver, and the responses from the people. So this is therefore a manifesto generated by and written for the people of Zambia, to benefit who? As I said, to benefit the people of our country and their associates, those who live in this country, live, do business here. Very important. So, 5 years ago, you trusted us with public office. Against all odds, you voted for this organization and its partners to be your servants, and we don't take that for granted. Great respect, greatest of respect, because there were many competitors. For example, there were 16 presidential candidates on the ballot paper. 16, 1, 2, 3, 16. And you chose this fellow standing here. And you did it emphatically. You did it emphatically. We don't take that for granted. We take it as a serious obligation to work for you. To work for you. You trusted us to lead from the front, not from behind. When the West drought in living memory came, afflicted us, we said no Zambian will die of hunger. and we worked diligently. And we've never heard anyone saying, in my family, this member died because of the hunger instigated by drought, itself instigated by climate change. Leading from the front, not from the back. Not blaming anybody when things went wrong. When the same drought injected a decline, decapitated our electricity generating capacity, since we're largely hydro, we did not hide. We did not conceal that situation. We came before the people of Zambia and acknowledged the challenge and said we will not mourn and groan. We will work to turn the coin the other side. What is that side? Opportunity. To invest beyond hydro. And I'll talk about it today a little bit. Never giving excuses. When people complained about the price of meal, I remember going into Mutendere and going into Mandevu to talk to people, to hear their concerns. Never passed back. That's the leadership you chose. Absolute responsibility. Not ducking, but also acknowledging that certain things we can't do on our own. We needed to work with others within our country, in our organization, partners put together, but also the private sector. Churches, unions.
A lovely Friday. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of the Royal Breakfast Show right here on Crown Television, DSTV channel 277, Go TV channel 23, and Topstar channel 89. My name is Mike Sakala.
My name's Ndashi Mataka. We are broadcasting live this morning, bringing you a heavy lineup of the big stories that have completely characterized the national conversation throughout the whole of this week.
Yes, indeed, Dash. And as we ease into the weekend, we are running through the political chessboard, legislative shakeups, and a profound cultural transition in the Eastern Province. And here's just a quick roundup of how we are going to be getting to tackle the issues we have today. Now, the ruling United Party for National Development has officially launched its policy blueprint ahead of the upcoming polls. We dissect the promises that they are giving versus the current economic realities. But also remember that there was another build-up story this week where, following intense outcry, civic outcry, President Hakainde Hichilema has sent the public gathering bill back to Parliament. We are going to run a direct comparison on what this means for your constitutional right to assemble, but also following the burial of Paramount Chief Mpezeni IV at the Pendukeni Palace Cattle Crow this week. We examine what happens next in the Ngoni Royal establishment. How does succession work? And also, who qualifies to ascend the historic Jere throne?
Now, we want to hear from you throughout the whole of this show by simply you get in touch with us through our Facebook page where we are live as CrownTVZambia. You can also go to our YouTube channel because we are subscribed there. You can also subscribe and you can just follow in on all of the shows that are showing there. But you can call us later on 0979 958 392. Later on, we'll be looking at the newspapers. And remember, yesterday, the World Cup kicked off. Who is your money on? South Africa was facing Mexico, and unfortunately for the South Africans, they did lose 2-0.
And also they were facing the rest of Africa, not just Mexico, as everybody else was, supporting the other guys due to quite a number of activities that have been going on there in South Africa, especially how they're treating the neighboring countries, calling them foreigners that are not welcome there, on allegations that they're getting to, get their jobs. Pretty much. But yes, those and other issues are what we have on the table today. And for now, we're going to be getting straight into our daybreak news for the day. Remember that you can actually get to pick on any of the stories as well, coupled with what we're going to be looking at in the various newspapers and also the topics that we have at hand. You are free to comment on all of those kind of stories later when we come back and we open the phone lines. For now, let's take a short break and we're getting directly into the daybreak news. This is the Daybreak News on Crown Television. Our first story this morning, President Hakainde Hichilema has called on Zambians to give him more time to continue implementing his development agenda. The head of state urged citizens to become campaign managers for the United Party for National Development, saying their support is essential to sustaining the country's development progress. Mr. Hichilema also encouraged voters not to become complacent by assuming the UPND has already secured victory in the next election. He further stated that if re-elected, his government will work to ensure that every province in Zambia has an international airport. Mr. Hichilema was speaking during the official launch of the UPND manifesto for 2026 to 2031. Blessings has the rest of the details.
Scores of supporters from the United Party for National Development UPND and members of East Alliance partners gathered to witness the unveiling of the party's 2026-2031 manifesto. Addressing the crowd, President Hakainde Hichilema emphasized that Zambians must re-elect the UPND if the country is to sustain its current developmental trajectory. The head of state also called on all UPND and alliance members to take up the role of campaign managers, urging them to work tirelessly to ensure victory in the next election.
From today, Bali HH is appointing you as campaign managers. Campaign for Team Zambia. Campaign for this beautiful country and what it can become.
President Hichilema further pledged that if he re-elected, his administration will ensure that every province in Zambia has a university, expanding access to higher education across the country.
Every province of Zambia will have a public university. Every province of Zambia. We want to be equitous. We want to be inclusive. Which are these provinces? Northern, Luapula, Northwestern, Western, Southern, Eastern. All of these will have universities.
The president encouraged citizens to vote not only for him, but also for all UPND candidates contesting various elective positions.
The president cannot work alone. Yes, the president's vision was for Bill 7 to bring women. But the president doesn't sit in parliament. He had to use members of parliament to vote for Bill 7 and this vice president. Understand the connection. Please, if you are unhappy about somebody, think of free education. Don't withdraw your vote. Don't stay at home.
Mr. Hichilema added that his government is pursuing ambitious development targets, expressing confidence that they will be achieved for the benefit and prosperity of all Zambians.
We will continue investing in energy. I told you the buyback of Bond B is connected to the energy investments. Solar, wind, and also more hydro in the northern corridor where we have more water of our country, such as Kalungwishi, close to 250 megawatts, because we have more water. We also have plans to continue generating more power from the existing power stations already by availing them more water. Don't ask me how. Read the manifesto. It's all there.
Mr. Hichilema added that his government is pursuing ambitious development targets, expressing confidence that they will be achieved for the benefit and prosperity of all Zambians. President Hichilema was speaking during the official launch of the UPND's 5-year manifesto for the period 2026 to 2031. This event attracted many other stakeholders. Blessings Mkandewe reporting, Crown TV News, Lusaka.
In other stories this morning, 2 suspects linked to the murder, aggravated robbery and arson attacks in Lukulu district have died after an exchange of fire with police during an operation to recover a firearm believed to have been used in the crimes. The suspects, identified as 41-year-old Numbomate Mubita and 25-year-old Chiteta Kayombo, were apprehended on 10th June 2026 in the Kashasha area of Lukulu district in the Western Province following ongoing investigations into the attacks that claimed 7 lives, injured 4 people, and left 6 houses burnt in Kamboi village. According to Western Province Police Commanding Officer Ray Hamonga, officers later escorted the suspects to the Pezo Bush area after receiving information that a firearm used in the attacks had been hidden in the bush.
2 suspects, namely Numbo Mate Mubita, aged 41, and Chiteta Kayombo, aged 25, on the 10th of June 2026 in the Kashasha area of Lukulu district. Acting on information provided during investigations, police officers proceeded with the suspect to the Pezo Bush area to recover a firearm that was used in the commission of the offenses. Whilst approaching the indicated location, the suspects attempted to escape, and one of them retrieved an AK-47 rifle concealed in the bush and opened fire on police officers. The officers responded to the attack in the lawful execution of their duties. During the exchange of fire, both suspects sustained gunshot wounds and were immediately rushed to Lukulu District Hospital, where they were pronounced dead upon arrival. Police successfully recovered an AK-47 rifle which had a defaced serial number, together with 3 rounds of ammunition. The firearm has since been secured as an exhibit and forms part of the ongoing investigations. The Zambia Police Service in Western Province wishes to reaffirm its commitment protecting life and property and ensuring that persons involved in serious crimes are brought to justice in accordance with the law.
A constitutional court case seeking clarification on the eligibility requirements for independent candidates in the August 13th, 2026 general elections has taken a new turn following an application by former Cabinet Minister Gary Nkombo to be joined to the proceedings as an interested party. Mr. Nkombo, who recently resigned from the United Party for National Development (UPND) and announced his intention to contest the Mazabuka Central Parliamentary seat as an independent candidate, says the outcome of the matter could directly affect his candidature and political interest, making his participation in the case necessary. Here is more.
A legal battle over the interpretation of constitutional provisions governing independent candidates in the 2026 general elections has attracted the interest of former Cabinet Minister Gary Nkombo, who is seeking to participate in the proceedings before the Constitutional Court. Mr. Nkombo has applied to be joined as an interested party in the matter, arguing that the court's decision could have a direct impact on his political ambitions. Having recently resigned from the United Party for National Development (UPND), he intends to contest the Mazabuka Central Parliamentary seat as an independent candidate in the August 13th, 2026 elections. According to court documents, Mr. Nkombo believes he has an important interest in the case and should be granted an opportunity to make submissions before the court, as the outcome may affect his eligibility to stand as an independent candidate. The matter was commenced by the Consortium of Civil Society Organizations for Good Governance and Constitutionalism, together with Clifton Chifue, as the first and second applicants respectively. The Attorney General and the Electoral Commission of Zambia have been cited as the first and second respondents in the proceedings. To support his application, Mr. Nkombo has engaged Mesas Malisa and Partners legal practitioners who filed the application on June 10, 2026. The Constitutional Court is expected to determine whether he should be joined to the case as it considers the interpretation of the legal requirements governing independent candidates. Kundej Sachingalesu Ngandu, reporting for Crown TV News in Osaka.
In other stories this morning, police have dismissed allegations that it selectively handling cases arising from last week's political violence in Shawama, insisting that arrests are being made based on complaints received and evidence gathered. Concerns have been raised by some stakeholders following the clashes between supporters of the ruling United Party for National Development and the opposition Tonse Pamodzi Alliance, with accusations that only opposition members are being targeted by law enforcement officers. However, police spokesperson Godfrey Chilabi says the arrests made so far stem from complaints lodged by some UPND members and are not motivated by political considerations. Here are the rest of the details in this report.
Following last week's violent clashes in Chawama involving supporters of the ruling United Party for National Development (UPND) and the opposition Tonse Pamozi Alliance, the Zambia Police Service has dismissed allegations that it is handling the matter in a partisan manner. Concerns have been raised by some stakeholders who are claiming that only opposition members are being arrested in connection with the fracas. However, police spokesperson Godfrey Chilabi says the arrests made so far are based on complaints reported to the police and evidence gathered during investigations and not political affiliation. Mr. Chilabi has explained that some UPND supporters reported being victims of the violence, leading to investigations and subsequent arrests. He says police remain open to receiving complaints from any affected individuals and will act on all reports in accordance with the provisions of the law.
It's been trending video everywhere, the violence that was caused at one of the candidates in Chawama, which is Mr. Mundu and the like. Yes, we appreciate that. We saw that happened. What we are waiting for as police is a formal report at the police station so that we institute investigations. Cases like malicious damage to property, cases like assault, and other cases, we will need someone to go to a police station so that we record the statements, they quantify the stolen property. If someone was assaulted, we will need this person to come to the police station, medical report form issued so that they are attended to as assault case is constituted out of that complaint. So we are not closing our door. Our doors are open as Zambia Police Service. Whoever has a complaint, let them feel free to come to a police station.
Meanwhile, Mr. Chilabi has further assured the public that the Zambia Police will remain professional, impartial, and committed to ensuring that all those found wanting are brought to justice, regardless of political affiliation.
Non-selective in our application of the law. Equally, Kabwe, there was an incident. The other group, it was proposing violence. They were arrested and they were given police bond. There was also another group that went to cause damage, to the property, the entertainment system, that the other PS system that was being used. Dockets have been opened. In that case, we have malicious damage to property as well as assaults. Dockets have been opened, and we are pursuing the suspects, regardless of which party they are coming from. Right. And one of the key suspects that we mentioned in that malicious damage to property is a man called Mr. Tole, who is on the run, and we are pursuing that suspect so that he can face justice. And that's what we are doing.
For Crown TV News, Tawanda Munyuki.
Now, Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Permanent Secretary in charge of administration, Gabriel Pollen, is concerned about the slow pace on the rehabilitation and upgrade of 10.1 kilometers of road in Solwezi District. Speaking during the inspection of selected roads in Solwezi District, Mr. Pollen says the road works being done by the government are a reflection of inclusive development that the government is undertaking. Dr. Pollen has since called on the contractor to expedite work, stating the government has released 95.4 million kwacha towards the road works.
The piecemeal nature of work, where work starts on one location, and then they stop for a bit, and then works are also being done to another location. We want to encourage the contractor to engage the subcons and ensure that the works are being completed on time. And there's also an issue of prioritization of specific types of works. So for example, here we have box culverts that were just put here. But there's been no further works that have been done. So in light of the rainy season and the criticality of the crossing area here, we expect the contractor or the subcontractors to prioritize this particular section of the road to ensure that these works are brought to finality.
The main thing we appreciate to start with what the PS has pointed out. We are very much alive about the piecemeal nature. But this was, it started when there was a rain season. And during rain season, in this particular area, we couldn't work. And it was literally impossible to divert traffic. That's why we had to go to stadium where it was possible.
Appreciate that the contractors moved in on the last part of the road where we are almost being assured that we are going to complete these works. And also it shows that he is also willing to tow the talk that the president wants. The president gave us 10.1 kilometers for us to urbanize Solwezi. The biggest cry of the people of Solwezi has always been roads, roads, roads and roads. And the president came to our aid by giving us 10.1.
And finally, in some sportsy news, where Chess Federation of Zambia President Leslie Chikuse has revealed that only 3 players will be supported for the Africa Individual Chess Tournament. The 3 players include men's national champion, international master Chitumbo Mwali, women's national champion Lubuto Walia, and Andrew Kayonde. Chikuse says this is because the federation has not enough resources to support more players. He has called on the corporate world to come on board and support other players. He is confident that the 3 players will make Zambia proud, and the African Chess Individual Championship will be held in Botswana from the 18th to the 27th of June 2026.
The winner of the Africa Individual becomes a grandmaster, and for the past, since 2011, we have not had another grandmaster, and it's very competitive, of course. Last time our player Chitumbo Mwali came out third, almost getting it to become a grandmaster. But this time around it's closer at home. It's only here in Botswana. The environment, the climatic patterns are not very different. We're expecting that we are going to perform much better. Lubuto has shown a lot of prowess. She has won a lot of tournaments. So for the 2 going into Botswana, we expect that they will be able to win that tournament, and maybe we may produce another grandmaster. But as I say, there are also international masters like Gillian Wadia. We have international masters like Richmond Piri. We have international masters like Andrew Kayonde will also be there. We qualified by virtue of winning the zone 4.5. So he will also be there. So we'll also have Andrew Kayonde, who is fully sponsored because of having won the Zone 4.5 chess championship.
And that is all we had for you when it comes to the Daybreak News. Thank you so much for listening to it. We do have other bulletins though. At 12 o'clock we have the midday news, and at 18:30 we have the grand news, where you can catch up on everything that you might have missed out on when it comes to current affairs. However, we do have to take a short break. When we do return, we get to find out how the money markets are looking on the Royal Breakfast Show.
Numerous cases of people falling asleep have been reported across the African continent. No one can explain this phenomenon.
With 24/7 FIFA World Cup coverage, sleep can wait. Everything can wait.
Catch all 104 matches from as little as 255 kwacha, only on DSTV.
Are you passionate about making a positive impact on communities? Do you dream of a career that combines psychology, social justice, and community empowerment?
Enroll in our June 2026 intake for the Diploma in Child and Adolescent Mental Health, community-based work with children and youth.
Dive into a transformative journey of learning and advocacy.
Immerse yourself in courses that explore human development, social policy, and diverse perspectives. Gain hands-on experience through community projects and internships.
REPSI is a TVETA-accredited institution and offers all programs through online situated distance learning. You'll be empowered with the skills to create real lasting impact in communities.
Join us in shaping a brighter, more inclusive future for children and young people. Enroll with us for a program that equips you with the skills to create real, lasting impact.
To start your application, email us admissions.zambia@repsi.org or www.repsi.org, or our Facebook page at RepsiZambia, or call 0770-707-924. Together, let's make a difference through love, care, and protection for children.
On a busy day in Lusaka, right in the middle of a vlogging, Mr. Simon Mwela's phone battery died. Well, he knew what to do next. He called Zambia's top cell phone and accessories dealer. In a flash, problem solved. Across town, Dr. Sia Twambo was getting ready for a presentation when he realized that his PA forgot something. A quick call to Mobile City and his projector screen was delivered in no time. Meanwhile, Vana Fiasasa was about to leave for the village when she remembered she needed a phone upgrade. One call to Mobile City and a new phone arrived just in time. Vana Fiasasa snapping a selfie before hitting the road? But wait, I thought the other guys were in a hurry. For free, fast and reliable delivery, trust Mobile City. Beware of scammers. Mobile City Delivery. You order, we deliver.
Salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ have come. Lift one hand and now lift the other hand, because our man of God in a surrendered position is more dangerous than an entire army.
The Lord of hosts is the one who is the King of glory. So when you're with the Lord of hosts, you can access the glory realm. He is the King of glory who rules over all creation.
It is your gift that will bring you before great men. Each of you have a gift. The Bible says Jesus took captivity captive and gave gifts unto men. All of you have a gift. Find it and use it to solve the problems of others. Therein lies your wealth.
Whenever we are increasing, we become a threat to the children of darkness. Even Jesus saw them in his time and he identified them. He said, "You children of serpents."
Welcome back to it. This is the Friday edition of the Royal Breakfast Show right here on Crown Television, DSTV channel 277, GoTV channel 23, and on top side is channel 89. We are also live on the Star Times at the 543. That is our channel. And also you can catch us on the Star Times own app if you have it. And if you don't have it, you can actually go to your Google Play Store and download it now, or your App Store, and you'll be able to enjoy TV on the go anywhere, anytime. And also we are on a Zam television as well, Zam TV. You can find us there as a Crown TV Zambia. Now, before we went on that particular break, we were getting to look at the stories that are majoring in the daybreak news. Hopefully you picked one or two that you'd love to comment on. The number is 0979-958392. That is the number that you're going to be using throughout this particular program to be a part of the discussions. But also utilize our online presence. What about now? We are live on our Facebook, which is Crown TV Zambia. Go there and leave us a comment, and we'll be more than glad to read what your thoughts are this particular morning. But just like Dash had mentioned, we're getting into the money markets, just getting to find out how the kwacha is faring against other major convertibles.
Let's just take a look at how the money markets are looking like. Remember, they are indicative. They do vary from bank to bank, and these ones are as of 6 o'clock this morning. Now, as you can see, the Great British Pound is buying at 23 kwacha, selling for 23 kwacha 45 ngwe, and it's 23 kwacha on the dot. So that is good. It means that the kwacha is appreciating. And then the United States dollar is buying at 17 kwacha 22 ngwe and selling at 17 kwacha 56 ngwe. And then finally, the euro is buying at 19 kwacha 86 ngwe and selling at 20 kwacha 26 ngwe. So if you are buying any euros right now, this is the best time for you to do so, especially if you're somebody who enjoys to travel. And of course, if you do trade in Forex, because you can use different currencies, then this is the right time. And remember, they do vary from bank to bank. They are indicative and they are likely to change according to the time that you actually go and visit the bureau. So these are the exchange rates as of 6 o'clock.
Yes, indeed. That's how it looks like right there. And you can actually get to go to your bureaus and get to find out, or rather just get to, run an exchange of that dollar that you have there, or that kwacha that you have into a dollar. You're going to be finding it somewhere around 17 kwacha 22 ngwe and buying, and it's selling at 17 kwacha 56 ngwe. So very much attributes to that particular effect when it comes to how the kwacha has been performing lately. The strong copper prices and export earnings. Zambia, obviously, yesterday we did get to see that has been ranked as one of the best performing currencies in the world, top 10 actually. It is about on a 24.58% amongst other countries as well that it's competing with. Now, there's also been improved foreign exchange liquidity. The mining companies, tax remittances, and foreign financial institutions that have injected substantial amounts of foreign currency into the market, thereby reducing pressure on the dollar, plus other issues as well that we can actually go on and on attributing to how or why the kwacha finds itself at that particular spot this far. But that's how it looks like as of 6 today. Might find it at 18 when you go later at 10 or even at 19, because obviously with time it changes.
Well, not really 19, maybe 15 hours, 16, 17 hours, of course.
Yeah.
But it's best that you go as early as possible, because, and I've also noticed at some bureaus, the rand is actually going at maybe 16 ngwe. So that's why I was quite surprised yesterday that it was going at 1 kwacha 9 ngwe. That's why I was like, we are very close to reaching the full figure of 1 kwacha, because it's been quite a while. And some might argue that it is because that we're in the campaign period, that of course that these rates of course are looking the way that they do, but that is how it normally happens whenever it's election period. It's not just this year, it's also happened 4 or 5 years ago as well. Otherwise, those are the exchange rates. They are indicative. Let's now get to find out how the newspapers are looking like.
Yes,
various
indeed.
interesting headlines that have been coming in, especially because of how this week has been panning out.
It's been a very eventful week when it comes to current affairs. Obviously, stories flying around here and there. It's been a busy one also. Let me actually stress that particular fact. There's a lot of us that were mourning our chief. There's a lot of us that were unfairly treated by Bembas, and people that are not even Bembas but took advantage of just being a part of what we share with our tribal cousins. But also there's a lot of other issues spanning from the Public Gathering Act, which the president actually sent back to Parliament, citing that it goes against public interest. And also yesterday we did see that the UPND did launch the manifesto. But let's get into the newspapers and see how they are looking like today. Remember that as we are getting to peruse through them, you can give us what your thoughts are on various stories, especially that one which stands out to you. Write us a comment on Facebook or leave us a text message on the number 0979 9583 92 0979 958392. Later on, we expect to open the phone lines for you to call in and tell us what your thoughts are as well. We quickly start with the Mass newspaper, which appears this particular morning with the leading story saying Progressive Manifesto, UPND Manifesto wins praise from stakeholders. Is a story that you find there leading. A broad spectrum of stakeholders has welcomed the 2026-2031 United Party for National Development UPND manifesto, describing the ruling party's agenda as both forward-looking and transformative. There is more details to this story on page 3 of the Mass newspaper if you want to go down into all of those details. But on top there in blue it says, "Turned down, Zambia Army cancelled. The Zambia Army should retract its misplaced statement warning the public against misuse of social media and artificial intelligence AI tools, says Democratic Union DU President Akim Njovu. And beneath that, he says gatherings bill withdraw good, but now, the withdrawal of the bill of the Public Gatherings Bill 2026 is good, but government and parliament must make genuine public participation a non-negotiable part of lawmaking. The LCK Freedom Foundation has said this, where that particular statement is coming from. Free Xavier Mwansakombe ages Hijirema. Now, this is Chief Mwansakombe of the Ngumbo people of Chifunavuli district of Luapula province, has publicly appealed to President Hakainde Hichilema to order the immediate release of former head of the National Intelligence Service, Xavier Chungu. And in picture focus there, that's the President Hakainde Hichilema front center, with Vice President Mutale Lumango on the left during the launch of the UPND manifesto at MICC yesterday. That is at the Mulungushi International Conference Center. The mass newspaper appears like this. Leave us your thoughts and your comments on 0979 958392.
Moving on to another newspaper this morning that has got very interesting headlines and revelations at most is the Daily Revelation newspaper, with the lead-in headline which says, "We may go back to PF, Calaba's RM." That would be the case if not careful, just as we should not go back to UPND. They are both corrupt. So you can find more of that story on page 2. And then there's another headline of which you can find the full story on page 4, which says, "Don't say I have already won." And that's according to President Hakainde Hichilema. Those are the headlines making the Daily Revelations front page this morning.
Yes, indeed, that's how it looks like. But the Daily Nation also comes through with its own other stories or revelations as well. Just getting to read through how it is looking like. The biggest story there, or the major headline, says it's been a traumatic first term. That's according to President Hakainde Hichilema, but says he has managed to navigate the most difficult economic storms in 4 years and 10 months, having taken over a country that was burdened by debt, economic difficulties compounded by drought, cholera, and mismanagement. The other one says ECL deserves to be honored, says Mirupi, both as Zambia's former president and a distinguished legal practitioner, says a military send-off for the former head of state coupled with valedictory service at the High Court would complete the honors for President Lungu. There is more on page 3 to that particular story. Now, political violence shouldn't be tolerated. That's according to Brian Mundubire. And right beneath it says, scrutinize true cost of Eurobond buyback. Government told. That's the story that goes further to read on page 3 as well of the Daily Nation newspaper. It looks like that as well. Leave us your thoughts.
It's one Zambia, one nation, but there's only one Daily Nation newspaper. Otherwise, moving on to the news diggers, these are some of the stories or headlines that they have actually digged up. And it leads with the main headline, which says, HH promises 2 million jobs as he launches manifesto. Very interesting. And then on top, there's another headline in pink. It says, violence has no place in my movement. That's according to Brian Mundubile, and you can actually read more of that story on page 4. And then in green, GBM quits politics. So you can find more of that story on page 4. In yellow, Law Association of Zambia, CSOs praise HH for rejecting public gatherings bill. And you can find more of that story on page 5 of the News Diggers. And then in blue, there's another headline which reads, I still think HH will win. And that's according to Gary. So you can find more of that story on page 2. Otherwise, those are the stories that we could dig up for you on the front page of the News Diggers newspaper this morning.
Yes, indeed. But there is also the Times of Zambia that particularly comes through around this time, saying People's Manifesto. HH launches a 5-pillar agenda to grow economy. That's the story there that is leading in the Times of Zambia newspaper. The other one says NAPSA clarifies $300 million Lusaka dollar highway deal. The other one says UPND manifesto exemplifies HH's vision. Eurobond B demonstrates renewed confidence under new dawn. HH wins kudos for putting public gatherings bill on ice. Is another story there that you get to find. And the other one also reads, on top especially, government moves to strengthen early childhood education, and right next to it, it says microfinance dominates corporate bonds, and in sports, a decent start for more. That's the stories that, those are the stories rather, that the Times of Zambia has this particular morning.
It is 0979-958-392, and the sports story on the back of the Times newspaper obviously has got to pertain to what is happening in the golfing world, in case you're somebody who absolutely loves to play golf, and you know, it's not all about the game, it's about networking, more or less. Otherwise, you can also go to our Facebook page where we are live as Crown TV Zambia. Leave us your contribution there and tell us which one of these headlines have stood out to you the most. Otherwise, in the Daily Mail newspaper, the Zambia Daily Mail newspaper rather, it leads with the main headline which says it's a growth manifesto. HH says new focus is making Zambians feel benefits of progress. And then there's another headline which says, don't say Tawina Kudala. HH tells UPND members. You can find more of that story on page 3. And then there's another headline which says, politicians tipped, manage expectations to avoid mental distress. So you can find more of that story on page 3. Law Association of Zambia, others back president decision not to assent to public gatherings bill. More of that story on page 3 as well. There's also another story which says, which reads, 6.9 million kwacha for 872 Lusaka bursaries. Right next to that, 27 megawatts Lusemfwa solar plant ready. And then next to that as well, in red, why kwacha is best performer. Mike actually alluded to some of the points early on when we were looking at the exchange rates. And you can find more of that story on page 3. And then an inspirational note, because don't forget that today is actually a Friday. We're going into the weekend. Yesterday was Friday Junior. And just something to inspire you, just in case you don't have, you know, the necessary funds to get you through the weekend. As you start to walk on the way appears. So that is according to Rumi. Otherwise, those are the headlines making the front page of the Zambia Daily Mail newspaper this morning.
Do you know what I heard about inspiration or motivation?
What?
That was what I read somewhere. They said motivation is like bathing. That's why it is recommended daily. You get it, right? So there's no specific date to say it's a motivational Monday.
Oh my.
So you can't do motivation on a Tuesday. It's just like bathing. It is recommended daily.
Yeah, no, we recommend, especially in winter.
Exactly. Interesting headlines that are coming through from the newspapers. Leave us a comment on any story that stood out to you. But I was actually caught by, a story from one of the newspapers which says GBM quits politics. I was actually getting to look into what sort of history that GBM has actually left behind, especially when it comes to politics. He is known as a GBM popularly, but those initials stand for Geoffrey Walyamwamba. He was a businessman who turned politician. He was born on the 15th of March 1959 in Kasama. A very wealthy and outspoken person, and he's actually known also for switching parties multiple times. So he entered into politics, during the PF era in 2009 to 2014. So from 2009 to 2016, he was elected member for Kasama Central on Patriotic Front ticket. 2011 to 2013, he was appointed Minister of Defense by President Michael Sata after PF won 2011 elections. In 2013, he resigned as Defense Minister over the Chitimukulu's chief succession dispute, said he brought pride to Bemba chiefs. And in February 2014, he was expelled from PF for campaigning for UPND in the January 2015 presidential by-election. He said, I will still be rich even if expelled. That's one of the things that he was, quoted saying. And during the UPND era, 23rd of July in 2015, he dumped the PF and accepted UPND vice presidency for administration post. And, the current president. On the 3rd of June in 2016, he picked as HH's running mate for the August 2016 presidential elections. The 2016 case, was arrested for alleged militia training, plus go for his thought remarks versus Edgar Lungu. 2019, he resigned from UPND and rejoined PF before 2021 elections. HH thanked him and said UPND was bigger than any one individual. So it was back to PF again. He faced quite a number of legal battles. 2021, he was arrested and detained for conflict of interest and possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime. He claimed political persecution for ditching UPND. Obviously, those were his remarks. But I'm just looking at a man who, even after getting to retire or quitting politics, I think his name is one of those that will stand really to be remembered in the history of Zambian politics, because obviously GBM was just that name. You get it. GBM
carries
GBM.
a lot of weight.
Definitely carries a lot of weight, really. Metaphorically speaking, also.
That's what I meant.
Me, metaphorically thinking, obviously. But yeah, it is good to see that sometimes, when you actually get to reach a certain age, you just realize that I think it's time to leave room for others to take up the mantle over these leadership positions. There's been a cry or complaint of saying that as a country we've had a tendency of recycling leaders, so there's never been really like a shift of leadership, because it's pretty much the same people that we're seeing. It's this person joining from this party to the other party, so it's the same set of leaders that we are ousting, but also somehow bringing into power. But to see that people are deciding to say, you know what, I'm letting go. I think I've done my part. I've played my role, and this is how far I can actually get to go and leave the stage for others to play. It's a very commendable thing, and wishing him all the best in his other future endeavors.
Speaking of wishing people the best, in the Zambia Daily Mail newspaper, there was a headline where the president will say, "Don't say Tawina Kudala." You can't say that I've already won, because there's still a lot to be done. And of course, this is the campaign period. Now we're starting to see how the other parties are sort of bringing their manifestos and sort of offering to the public what it is that they're going to be bringing to the table. But at the same time, if you look at some of these manifestos, it's not something new that has been added to the fold. It's more so going up against what the president has already done. But there's also another headline, and it's in the News Diggers, where the president says he's actually aiming to provide 2 million jobs. We saw how he created a lot of jobs when it comes to the nurses. He recruited about 2,000 of them. He actually projected that earlier on last year, and before the end of the year, we had actually seen how nurses were recruited early on in this year as well. We saw that people who were part of the database also sort of got their jobs, because we know how it is with nurses.
The teachers, obviously, as well.
It's very difficult to get a job after getting your nursing certificate. And now we've seen that it is possible, whether you're in the database or perhaps you've just been recruited amongst the same 2,000. And that is actually part of the thing that we're going to be talking about. The manifesto that was being read out to the general public yesterday at Mulungushi Conference Center.
Interesting enough, I love it when you actually point out to what the president mentioned, to say, don't say Tawina Kudala. And in the story that we did read, he actually urged people to not be complacent about this particular situation, because obviously you and I can attest to the fact that over the few days, few weeks, we've seen a lot that has been happening. We've seen, political parties joining alliance with the UPND, other people withdrawing from, whatever race, could be parliamentary, presidential, and, deciding to join forces with the current government. And that, for some people, might, get to have a ring in your head to say it's already, a secured victory. And obviously, we do know that in as much as there is all of these people getting to join and getting to rally behind the current government, the competition is still there. There's still others that are in opposition, and an election really is that something that you can't foretell or foresee, to say the decision is on that particular date when the people get to go into those ballot boxes. It is a secret, remember. And whatever the outcomes of the result will project what the people of Zambia have always been wanting. You get it. So it is only after you are declared winner that you can celebrate. So there's a lot of work. Others might take it on a low key to say, not winner. There's no need to campaign. Maybe there's no need for us to be going, full throttle out there and getting to spread the message. He has encouraged everybody else, the alliance members, every party, every person that aligns themselves with the UPND to be a campaign manager. Go out there and spread the word. There are these calls that we have done. Yes, we are proud that we've actually delivered on this, but let's go out and spread the word and spread the word more so that we can gain the much needed numbers that we need for us to gain re-election come the 13th of August this particular year. So it is very important that that was stated by the Republican president. Victory cannot be, especially in an election, like I mentioned, it just can't be foretold. It only happens after that particular day when the people get to cast their vote.
But then again, also, there's the fact that he also mentioned the fact that they are aiming to get 5 million votes. Not that we can see that we're going to get 5 million votes. So already you can sense that he understands the assignment at hand. There's still about 62 days before we head to the polls. Anything can happen within 62 days because we can already see what has been happening within 1 week. A lot can happen within the next 2 months or so. But also in the same newspaper, the News Diggers, there was a headline where Mr. Brian Mundubile actually said that his movement is not associated with violence. And not to say that any of these other parties have associated their movements or their campaigns with violence, but we have seen how a couple of people have been arrested because of the same riot that had happened in Chawama. About 11 were arrested, then we heard that 4 more were actually arrested, which is bringing up more numbers to the fold. But he says that he does not have any violence which is associated to his movement, and that could also foretell to what his manifesto actually stands for. So I think that was actually quite interesting what he had mentioned in the News Diggers.
Interesting indeed, because obviously every time and again the message is very clear. We need to have a free, fair, transparent, as well as violent-free election. It is not always right to, to have a life lost during a process that is going to shape the future of this particular country, and that future actually has to deal with each individual who identifies as Zambian. So the future now will be there without one individual because people decided to clash during campaign times. People decided to take to their fists and just get to test how their strength and their skills are when it comes to martial arts. Or people decided to use objects to injure each other. It wouldn't be very right. And that is why every participating political party, it is their mandate really to put it out there to their people, their electorates, their supporters, that you should not condone violence. And you're not supposed to be the ones that are perpetrating violence, actually. For instance, everybody knows this, that the UPND have stood very strongly about this, saying that whoever is found perpetrating violence and they identify as UPND, they are on their own, because we're not condemning that. We're not condoning that, rather. It is highly condemned in our party. And so Brian Mundubile also coming through to say that it is actually right that this message needs to be put across so that these people get it from the leaders themselves. Sometimes it's quite unfortunate that it is over the past, I've been a part of, electoral processes where mutuma youth groups, and then Marukataba commander, they're actually instigating you to go there and come in and then Mafara Nama Jombo Nama Boot and everything. Go and show them it's throat for throat, all of those kind of things. But to see to it that leaders on the helm of everything, those at the top, are getting to preach that there is not supposed to be violence. It is very welcome. It is very commendable, and it is supposed to be like that. And we wish to see many other aspiring presidents as well getting to preach this message to their supporters and their electorates, that let's observe, or rather let's actually get to have this particular process that is so very peaceful, that does not get to claim a life at the end of the day, and let us decide by getting to have issue-based politics and like getting to have, like what I've mentioned, obviously, the spilling of blood and the fightings and the causing of chaos unnecessarily. It is a battle of choices. It is a battle of ideas. And the ballot box or the ballot booth is the final ring where you actually just have to peacefully tick against your preferred candidate. So no life should be. Yeah. Mark X. Yeah, Mark X. Yeah, definitely.
Because if you tick, it's going to be a invalid ballot.
And exactly. So Mark X against your preferred candidate. And just like that, you go home peacefully. You're going to enjoy your Shima again. Next elections, you'll be there alive, and you're going to see the future that you were a part of deciding in that particular moment.
Exactly. Well, we're talking about the manifesto, which was read out to the public yesterday, and that is for the UPND, the United National Party for Development. Let's just take a look at this clip, just so that you're acquainted with us as to what we are actually discussing.
Interpreted your mandate. Absolutely. Without ambiguity. It is true that challenges in the last 4 years, 10 months now, were abound. We inherited COVID, worked through it, found the vaccination percentage was only 5%. In 6-7 months, we drove it to 75%, 80%. As though that was not enough, we inherited a debt mountain. We took it like our own. Yes, it's our own. Messed up by others, but we took it as our own. And I'll comment about that shortly. As I said, healing from COVID, cholera. Dressing cholera, I remember setting our Hero Stadium as the cholera center. And we went there. Many of you visited. Medical staff, nurses, doctors took the risks to address that challenge. Of course, I talked about the drought and many other things. We acknowledged those things as part of leadership, an obligation when you are leading. Together, through hard work, faith, patriotism, we began to rebuild a nation which we inherited, which was damaged, which was broken. In financial terms, we called it a basket case. That's what it was. There is no other description. And numbers don't lie. You try and lie, numbers look at you straight in the face that this was the situation. But we worked together as a people, without exception, driving the concept of teamwork, that we are skilled differently. We are endowed differently. We are trained differently. We have different experiences. But all of those put together, mixed properly, helped us to walk through a traumatic first term based on parameters beyond our own making. And I want to thank the people in this party, UPND, and these alliance partners at this stage, and the people of Zambia for your confidence, for your contribution to allow us to tackle this issue. I would clap for all of you. I would clap for all of you. And I hope in the last 4 years, 10 months, we've learned a lot from each other. We've understood the importance that we are bonded together, not just by umbilical cord, but many facets as well. So, that's what we set out to do. By way of reminder, just a quick reminder of our vision. a united, prosperous, inclusive, and equitable Zambia. This asset God gave us belongs to us, all of us, 10 provinces, 116 districts, all the constituencies, now from 156 to 226 constituencies. Thank you to Bill 7.
Yes, indeed. That is what was taking place at the Mulungushi International Conference Center yesterday, where the UPND actually getting to launch their manifesto there for the year 2026 up until 2031, as they seek re-election come the 13th of August 2026. Dash.
Very interesting remarks that he actually made. And then also, not so long ago, there was a comment that he had made based on the public gatherings bill, of which he did not assent this time. And this is because of public interest and the fact that he found it a bit undemocratic, because there were a couple of changes that were supposed to be made. As opposed to notifying the police 7 days in advance, it was supposed to be that you have to notify the police 5 days
at
in
least.
advance. And it caused a lot of confusion because people didn't actually understand how it would actually work. So for the sake of people not being too confused, and also for the sake of people not complaining a lot, because you know how we can get sometimes as a society, he sort of said, no, I'm just going to table it. It's not going to go through. And also, based on the manifesto, the new manifesto that they'd launched yesterday, there was also an interesting one to say that he wanted to, or he wants to build 10 international airports. So that's in all the 10 provinces, where every province is going to have an international airport, whether it's in Chipata, whether it's on the southern province. Copperbelt already has, and then Lusaka already has. But it would be quite interesting if this were to actually come through.
Yes, indeed. And part of what the UPND's, current manifesto that was launched yesterday seeks to do is that it actually, they are doubling down on decentralization through the Constituency Development Fund and free education, as well as the structural economic reforms. But obviously, the public perception has always been heavily tied to the high cost of living that people are getting to complain about. And this also is one of the things that they touched best on yesterday, whether the Republican president touched base on when he was getting to offer the particular address, to say they are heavily going to be looking into the issues to see to it that every family actually has 3 meals, at least decent meals. Obviously, the biggest thing is to have a bumper harvest. When you have a bumper harvest, you lessen the cost of production, which means that there's going to be more production in terms of mealie meal. When there is more mealie meal, the prices of mealie meal are going to be reduced, and everybody else can actually get to afford a bag of mealie meal at a very affordable price, and it'll be all happy. So it has been a process of getting to hit the problem from where the foundation is really. And time and again, they've spoken to say the benefits of what they have been working on are going to be appreciated maybe in the later days. So patience is what has been called for the people of Zambia. But obviously, the issues of the tummies. The tummy has got no patience with
Especially for the men.
Especially for the men. But also one of the things that he did make mention is the fact that they spent quite a lot of time getting to mend an economy that was in shambles, really. They had to restructure debt. They overtook an economy that was badly affected by the droughts and everything. But one thing that they pride themselves with is the fact that regardless of those situations that we were faced with, there wasn't any record of anybody dying out of hunger. And obviously now that there's about, 5 million tons of a bumper harvest projected, things seeming the future looks brighter according to what they are explaining as the UPND.
But in as much as this is all true, we do have to give due diligence to the previous regime as well, because when they were in power, they did work on quite a number of roads, and if it weren't for them, they wouldn't have implemented the flyover bridges that we actually see, which has actually helped with numerous traffic situations, because especially in Lusaka, it's quite difficult to navigate around when there are few flyover bridges that are found. Obviously, there are some people that might not necessarily know how a flyover bridge works, and so they drive at a minimum pace when it comes to that. But also just looking at how the previous regime also sort of brought a few things into the fold before the new administration had actually taken over. Yes, it was marred with a lot of violence, but at the same time, there were some things that you can actually give kudos to them. But also looking at the fact that with this regime, the president did mention also that based on the 10-point plan that they had set out at the beginning, they have ticked off majority of the things that they had set out to make. And that's why they've come up with a new manifesto, which is aiming at improving things that are already there, but just maximizing on it so that they can actually be a whole lot better. And the fact is that he's also looking to include more universities in majority of the provinces. And we do know that the president is very fond when it comes to education and the future of this country. So that, of course, is empowering the youth. We're also seeing how majority of the time he's been focusing on the education sector. But I want to take you back to the Daily Nation newspaper. There was an interesting headline where it was actually reading the fact that he said that they are traumatized after the past 4 years. It's been a traumatic first term because it was marred with the drought. And of course, that in turn did affect the electricity production. And so that is why we had actually experienced a lot of load shedding. And it actually goes on to say that he has managed to negotiate the most difficult economic storms in 4 years and 10 months. Debt restructuring is what took place in the same term that this regime has actually taken part of. And it's not easy coming in from a term where we almost defaulted and having to sort of restructure the debt. And now we're seeing it come into fold because we've seen how the exchange rates have been faring, how the kwacha has been appreciating over the past couple of months. The dollar is currently sitting at 17 kwacha.
Interesting enough, that is how it's looking like right there. But obviously, this also lies in the hands of the Zambian people to take keen interest in getting to find out these various manifestos that the politicians are putting out there. Read them through, and whichever one looks more appealing to you, we actually get to shape your decision come the 13th of August 2026 as the country heads to the polls. But also, Dash, quickly before we get into the text messages, there's pretty much been a very critical piece of legislation that has dominated the civil space this particular week, and we've actually touched a little bit on it, which is the public gathering bill. Now, Home Affairs Minister Jack Mwimbu did actually champion this as a balancing act, but the public backlash was fierce. Obviously, civil society organizations plus other stakeholders as well getting to question it. Now, the president has sent it back and did not get to assent to that particular one, citing that it is against public interest. But also just to have viewers have an understanding of what was this particular bill was seeking to change or, get to amplify maybe from the previous 1955 Public Order Act. We're going to be just getting to display the comparisons on screen there. And that's how it looks like. Now, this is the Public Order Act versus the Public Gathering Bill. According to the legislative intent of the Public Order Act of 1955, this was to focus on prohibition, regulation, that's quasi-military organizations and public peace maintenance, while as the Public Gathering Bill was legislatively intending to focus on promoting, protecting, and protection, as well as freedom of assembly and association, repeal and replace the act. And also, under the Public Order Act of 1955, it was required that a 7 days notice for meetings or processions be given to police officer and the regulating officers. But in the public gatherings, it was seeking to have at least 5 days notice before, and also to be authorized officer at the polling station, acknowledgement required within 24 hours of that. So it was pretty much getting to trickled down to 5 days instead of 7 days of that. That is with regards to public notification process. But on permissions and restrictions, the Public Order Act did, there was that permit required for regulated events. Police can stop unlicensed events, conditions on speeches, as well as the duration of the meeting, what can be spoken of and what cannot be spoken of. So it's pretty much like the police getting to give you, or these law enforcers getting to give you a script of to go by. But the public gathering bill was actually seeking approval of conditions required, restrictions on prior notice, unsuitable venue, register of notices for public inspection. Those were what it was seeking to put across. Exemptions, minister may exempt religious organizations as well, but on the other public gathering bill, long list, president, VP, ministers, MPs, mayors were only exempt during election time, such as the ones that we are in right about now during campaigns. On the part of enforcement and penalties, the arrest was on the Public Order Act. There was where you could be arrested without warrant. There was fines to be paid, 1,500 penalty units, imprisonment of 3 to 6 months. But on the other one, conditions attached to approval, there were appeal processes that were going to be there, immunity for good faith actions, as well as register maintained. Now, this one was where if you are just a participant, obviously, there's no application of you getting to probably maybe getting to be arrested or serving that particular imprisonment term. On other key provisions, obviously, national anthem requirements, prohibition of specific uniforms was in the Public Order Act, prohibition of specific attire or weapons, right of media to monitor was what the public gathering bill was seeking to provide against what the Public Order Act did actually get to have. That is of 1955. So the president sent it back to Parliament, citing public concerns. And this is something that has been welcomed by a number of civil society organizations. Citizens generally alike as well have come through and applauded the president for having taken that particular action. So that is how it looks like right there.
No, you also mentioned that it's undemocratic because people felt that they were being outdone by. And like you said, he is, this is a listening government, but he also mentioned something that was very interesting and something that has been thrown around all over the ground, and that is that he's heard that people have nicknamed him Vashi Promise. I thought that's very interesting that he finds himself on social media every now and then. But let's take a look at some of the messages that have been coming through in the inbox just to get your side of how you feel about the launch of the UPND's manifesto, as well as any of the headlines that might have stood out to you the most. Also in our news, we had some very interesting headlines to bring to you. So let's take a look at some of the messages. This one says, "Good morning, my daughter Ndashi the greatest, and my son Mike. I'd like to commend our beloved president for the powerful and progressive manifesto. Please let us Zambians give him another chance to implement his vision. Viva HH, Kamasongo Kamai, Secretary General of RBS, popularly known as KK from Mamba. A blessed day to you, the panel, and all the viewers."
Thank you so much, Mr. KK. We appreciate you writing to us. Good morning, Mike and Queen Mataka. The church, the NGO, the opposition, and other came out vigorously condemning the law, which was never signed into law. Now that this law is in Parliament, we would like these bodies to apologize or have a say, especially to the president, for calling him names. We would like to thank the LAS for coming out to commend the government for not assenting the bill into law. Samuel of Lusaka. Thank you so much, Samuel. We appreciate your text message.
Good morning, the panel. I'm advising all meaningful Zambians to vote for HH again with the vision. Tonse Alliance have nothing to offer, whose main aim is to rescue criminals who are caged. This is Piri in Kapiri, Mposhi.
Piri from Kapiri Mposhi, thank you so much for writing to us. Hi, Crown TV team. My name is Tembo Blessings. I'm interested in local content and determined program. I created a sample channel concept, just TV, to understand scheduling, and strategy and do international. All right, that's what's up. That's a whole kind of a project there. But thank you so much,
We'll get
Tembo
back to you,
Blessings.
don't
We'll get
worry.
back to you.
Yeah.
But you can actually get to add your voice on what we're discussing this particular morning on the Royal Breakfast Show. Thank you so much, Blessings. We thank you so much for finding time to write to us. It's a growth manifesto, but it's just on the paper, yet high cost of living doesn't change. Promises are there, but they become empty promises. Joshua from Lusaka. Thank you so much, Joshua, for that text message. We really appreciate it.
Yoshua in other languages. But let's get to find out the other messages, or let's take a look at some of the oh wow. Good morning, Dad, Mike, and daughter Ndashi, looking cute. Oh, thank you. I would like to commend and congratulate GBM for quitting politics. That is a sign of maturity. Let her daughter take the father's legacy, or let his daughter take the father's legacy. Amen. Kamasongo Kamai, Secretary General of RBS, popularly known as KK.
Back
Mr.
again.
Kamasongo, you call him Mike Dad?
Like, you know, that one where, like, if you are a son, then they call you Tata.
Or like Mommy.
Morning, RBS panel. To be honest, it's not possible to build universities in all 10 provinces. UPND should have just said they will continue with what they started. This promise will come back to them as a lie. The Lusaka Dual Carriageway is still under construction, and they are here to tell people that they build 10 universities in all provinces. If this is a campaign strategy, let them find something else that will convince people. Work well, Mike Ndashi, RBM, Matero North. Thank you, RBM. All the way from Matero for writing to us this morning. We appreciate it. Mwaboga buti ba Crown TV gamu zumana na mulimo omubotu ndime hambula ku John Leng bahambula tolumbaga party for writing to us. Somebody is just laughing in the book. What are you laughing at?
Complete character switch when he speaks a different language.
Thank you so much for hambula tolumbaga party.
Good morning, Ndashi and Mike. As time to vote gets closer, we will see manifestos mushrooming. But what I can say is that UPND's manifesto is good. My question is, why is opposition quiet on the dollar kwacha? This is Chris Nurenda in Katete.
Yeah, that's
your Chairman General.
Of the Raw Breakfast Show. Thank you so much, Mr. Chris Nurenda. It's good to know that Katete is locked into the Raw Breakfast Show, either on DSTV channel 277, GoTV channel 23, and Toaster channel 89. Those of you that are watching us via online, you can leave a comment on Facebook, that is on Crown TV Zambia. Good morning, Crown family. UPND manifesto is good. The only part missing is the part of cargo plans for serious SMEs. We need to have refrigerated cargo plans for businessmen so that they can directly be involved in export market. Trevor Sikumba from Mpezeni. Thank you so much, Trevor. We really appreciate your contribution all the way from Mpezeni.
Good morning, Crown TV. Morning, Mike Ndashi. I would like to comment on the move GBM made to step aside from politics. It reduces political violence. It's a good move rather than jumping from party to party, confusing followers. Even Mbwili should do the same. Or is it Kambwili? Anyway, Mbwili. This is Princess Kototo, or Princess Coco from Luancha.
But why did you see the Princess Katoto for?
I don't know. The light is
All right, Princess Coco, thank you so much for writing to us. It's good to know that Luansha is also watching. Good morning. During our time, prospective employers used to book in advance graduating students because there were few secondary schools and colleges and only one UNZA. But now thousands of students graduate every month, 12 months in a year. Hence, the saturation of the labor market. The solution, entrepreneurship, self-employment. Senior most citizen of Sikongo. Thank you so much, senior most citizen. We really appreciate your writing to us this morning.
I wonder if someone's going to say paramount citizen, paramount senior citizen.
Okay, we're looking forward to that.
This one says, but Zambian guys, to be truthful, with that head of state of ours, he is a hard-working person. To my side, I'm 45 years old. He's the first man I've seen in Zambia. Truly yours. Robert Longwe, Lusaka West Sunrise, Salt Sana, Kwenyu.
Yeah, thank you so much, Robert Longwe, for that message. Lusaka West is also locked into the Crown TV breakfast show today. We appreciate it. Like the UPND, let all political parties, including the independent candidates, avail their manifestos to the electorates outlining what they will do for the people of Zambia once voted into office. This will help Zambians make an informed decision on who has their best interest covered. We don't want mere playing of campaign songs without telling Zambians what you have for them. Written manifestos should be a must going forward. Victor Ali Watson's voice of Kabushi, the friendly city of Ndola, representing right there. Thank you so much, Victor. We appreciate your text message.
We're still recruiting some more members for certain departments, if you're wondering. We've got a Secretary General and the likes. Good morning, Crown TV. Indeed, it is a selective mode of apprehension and arrest by Zambian police. Only evidence of the opposition seems to be fouled than that of the ruling party, and yet they were all in the same spots at the same time. This is Sundu in Kunika in Lusaka.
Thank you so much, Nsundu. You too can be like Mr. Nkunika there. I don't even know if it's a Mr., but it can be like Sundu and write to us on 0979958392. Let's learn to appreciate even where the manifesto was being availed yesterday. It's a PF project and so many other very important infrastructure in this country, too numerous to mention, were done than 1x3 classroom blocks, high cost of living and doing business, getting our NAPSA money for the dual carriageway and selective fight of corruption. Big ton all the way from Lundazi, Eastern Province. Big ton, thank you so much for writing to us this morning. We appreciate your contribution.
Good morning, the two cousins no longer at war. The launch by the President, Dr. HH of the UPND manifesto to Zambian people has come at the right time, where it will be continuity of where the country is in terms of national development. In other words, free education, job creation, infrastructure development, etc., etc. It is really a progressive manifesto which deserves wind praises from stakeholders, especially that the first term was as traumatic as stated by the President, from Dr. NG6A, aka the ear to the ground, Dr. Ngoma, aka the ear to the ground, and the Publicity and Information General of the RBS from Kabwe. Thank you so much for sending us a text message and getting involved in the conversation this morning. Remember, you can always come through on the number, which is 0979-958-392. We would love to hear your lovely voices.
Good morning, Crown TV. I'm Sikwibele from Sesheke. It's good to be silent and learn from others. I'm following. Just like a wise man around here on Crown Television says, there is so much wisdom in silence. And yeah, definitely. Sometimes it's just okay to stay silent.
Yeah,
there's so much wisdom. It's not everything that you have to comment.
All you know is that you don't know.
Yeah, man. That's what's up.
Good morning, Crown TV moderators. We have heard the UPND manifesto and we are waiting for the Savior's manifestos. Interesting enough, whatever is in the UPND manifesto to the opposition is all poison, and I wonder whether we have the same brains, because it seems others have a different brain they use when interpreting whatever the UPND does. Mr. Mwatafwali from Kapiri Mposhi, nice to know that you are watching, Mr. Mwatafwali, and good to know that Kapiri is also watching.
Good manifesto, Mishek Mimi. Just like that, short and sweet. Thank you so much, Mishek. We really appreciate you. But we would love to know where you are actually watching the show from. It would be actually lovely to get a shout out to your place of residence, really.
Good morning, Ndashi. I'm Mike. UPND manifesto, it's just on paper, but sorry, it's time for them to go. This is TC in Kabwe Town. Central Province is also watching this morning.
Yes,
we are
indeed.
glad that you are getting involved in the conversation on a lovely Friday morning.
Like this one particularly. Good morning, panel. Wishing everyone a blessed and wonderful weekend. Reverend William Tonga of Jack Compound in Lusaka. Thank you so much, Reverend. We really appreciate you, and we wish you a blessed weekend as well as we're heading into as we're getting into it, because it's just starting today, obviously.
And we also heading into
it's the official launch of the weekend today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also head into the mid-month
Yeah.
period as well. I mean, June is only 30 days. But we'd like to hear from you. We've gone through some of the messages, but now we are getting to the phone calls. Give us a dial on 0979-958-392. We'd love to hear your thoughts based on the UPND's manifesto. Let's get to hear from some of the viewers, from you, the viewer. Hello, good morning. The golden rule is to always reduce the volume on your TV.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, CrownTV.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, this is Marvin from the calling within Indola.
Oh, how's Indola this morning?
And it's quite all right. I think you are just appreciating the effect of during that.
Please reduce the volume on your TV. There's a bit of feedback.
Just like that, it's gone.
Okay. I think it was brief, short to the point. Short to brief to the point.
Yeah. We have another one as well on the line. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Mike Ndashi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? This is Moses.
No major breakdowns. Minor ones are endured.
Indeed, like manifestos. For me, my brother, I don't celebrate manifestos. I celebrate results. You know, manifestos are like we Christians. At the beginning of every year, we make goals. Oh, by the end of this year, this is what I want to achieve. It comes to the end, you find that you have done nothing. So no matter how powerful manifestos can be, as long as the results are not there, I won't celebrate. And the one important thing, how manifestos can, translate into results. You need to have a team. So for the president, he needs to have a very good team. If what they are put on paper will come to pass. Look at Manawasa, he had a team. That is how he delivered. So me, I'm interested in the appointments this year. Let the president share the cake of appointments equally. All the 10 provinces, in all these state companies, if there is a director from province so-and-so, deputy so-and-so, that is how Kaunda worked very well, because there were many wasanka from another province, wachitana deputize. Azambo yopana na kufilenza munjira yabwini, kapina azaindo minene yakola president. Now if you just appoint people from your political party, they have no fear and mazaziko zambo onongeka. So as I go, I think this election, I agree with the president. Don't say it out in Abudala. It's a very, very, very tricky election. And in Zambia, there has never been an easy election. 1996, there was Dini Mungomba, who almost won it. 2001, there was our great Kambira Mazuro Kamaiso, rest in peace, a great leader indeed. He almost won it. 2006, so it will never be easy. And I can assure you, the Munduvile song is now on the ground. So wake up for UPND, otherwise, Zachita Monga wa PF, ukawafunza utimu zawi na hanyozilika. Dima wanenzo kambira wa PF.
Thank you.
What happened? They lost. Work hard, otherwise we are on the ground here. Thank you, my brother and my sister.
Thank
you so much, Mr. Moses. We appreciate your thoughts. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
When you call a TV station, the first thing they should do is to turn down the volume in the TV set, or simply move away from your TV so that we can have proper communication. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir. Your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Kitwe. I'm Charles Mwamba.
Mr. Charles Mwamba, go ahead and give us your thoughts.
The manifesto which I had yesterday at Bush conference by the president, I think that manifesto is wonderful. You know, in any home, even if in your home, you are in your home, there's always planning. You cannot rule this country without putting measures or put a program how we are going to run the country. Just like because if you look at Tonse Alliance, the only thing I'm hearing is songs. They are singing songs There's no manifesto. They are just saying, no, Aleya, Aleya kuisa, because you are supposed to tell the people what you are supposed to do. That what the president, that is the correct thing. You outline what you are going to do in the next 5 years. Don't expect them to hear something better. But they are just songs and dancing. Aleya. You don't work like that, Aleya, no. Let them put something on the table, not them calling to put something on the table so that Zambians can listen to them. But they're just singing songs, nice songs and dancing. The manifesto for UPND, which I saw yesterday, that is powerful. Because in a home we do budget. To say, if you are creating programs in a home. That is the best manifesto. That's what we should do. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mwamba. We appreciate your contribution this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, I'm Vanakulu Dabo calling from Undola.
Vanakulu Dabo.
Yes, Dabo twins.
Vanakulu Mpundu. Go ahead and give us your thoughts.
I would just say the manifesto which the president gave yesterday was very good. Those who are opposing, Bantu bamu abashitasha, muletasha kufimo tefyonse ba president balanda ti na fibipa. Muletasha. Abo abantu bale bati bali rushenye fintu bali rushenye me, they even killed my brother because of politics. So muletasha, thank you so much, Crown TV. Even Jesus Christ, when he was doing good things, they hated him, they crucified him, but he was doing good things. So if you were learn to appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vanakulu Dabo.
Thank you. Work well.
Sure. We have another call on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Sakala.
How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
We are fine. How is Chilanga?
Chilanga is fine, cool, moderate, and we can't complain.
Lovely. Go ahead and give us your thoughts.
Yeah. Yesterday, during the launch of the manifesto, UPND manifesto, actually, I was extremely happy. I went step by step looking at that manifesto. I'm just appealing to my fellow Zambians that there is no need for you to doubt. You can really see that we are heading somewhere. Zambia now is like a vehicle that was broken and it has been repaired with the new components and it is running at a very fast speed. So I can safely say that we are heading somewhere. Everything that you look at in that manifesto, they are very, very, very extremely progressive. So what we just need is to support the government of the day and move forward with that manifesto. Zambia is heading somewhere. We had been static for some time. I think close to about, I would say 10 to 11 years. But now let us acknowledge and appreciate the speed at which Zambia is going on now. It is moving at a very, very good speed. Manifesto, very excellent. And let us give the UPND a second chance. I can rest assure you that even those doubting Thomases, they will still come back and say, oh, wow, we never knew where we were heading to. Otherwise, you are in safe hands. Those that want to know more about the manifesto, you can Google it and find it on YouTube. Everywhere else you can find it. And it's a very, very lovely manifesto. Yeah, so I think for me, we are heading somewhere. Zambia now is moving at a very fast pace. I can assure you in the next 10 years, Zambia will be close to Dubai.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sakala and Ndashi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Malik, mwauka.
Mike.
Yo, mwauka bwanji.
Mwauka Mike.
Tauka kaya kuchipata.
Kuchipata kulibwino.
Taamikira.
Okay, tunaimvera mairo manifesto. Uzula Mike. Mstoyambirira. 2021. Kozofanika president atiuza. Eastern Province. Nina promisa vakuti na kuchitirani chakuti. Later on, nikuletirani university. nikule plani airport vintu vasalamu manivesa Mike chikwa muntu namba 1 ufani koyambira chika chili chamene unasebenza kuti mtu achiziwe. So why nikuza so bill 7 wamvera president atakamba yesterday bill 7 kuti nafuna bill 7 isainiwe more women in parliament. Wanivesa ino Eastern Province ina 27 MPs, no or even one ku UPND women. Is it true? Is bill 7 years on? So that's why Monotine Mikey, the truth is Kiribuno Kambashin Shirungamba. Maona? Eh? Manifesto ikambiwa. Maplani yakambiwa. Koma there's different maplani yakambiwa. Vamenes board chitika nvinanga. Kamu kuno kwise province. Ukapezenga UPND government inachitako chani. Eza olo disabled all women. Kulimpika kupini MP. Kulibe nothing. Why? Soti za kurupilira bwanji. Diwe Mike, uza kurupilira bwanji. So for my politics ite nayo so chabe, ivo kamba. Na lena alanati opposition, lanzale ka manifesto. Koma make sure nina kamba always kuti. Kuna ku Eastern Province. Skuli bwino. Situation ya mene li Kolomba. Vamena kamba president uzosa kamba titawina kudala it is true. Ile ni kamba every day, background mpo wama, mpo sasa. Because wanatenga mausampa naenda kuja. Ulipo wamena na mlondola kuno kwise province mausampa. Akabwele kuno uzasimikizina Mike. Waiona? So ya mene hiyo ndiye sigino yo ipa. Ya kuti alwa joina, koma salwa joina na wani. Ziko mkwambili yona ngwa kabeko Mike.
Tamikira Mr. Arik. Thank you so much. Hello, good morning.
Yeah. Arrivo. Good morning,
Good morning.
Yes. My sister there, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. You are speaking to 95% of the people of Ropla, spokesperson Kapambwe. I'm calling from here, the city of Lusaka, Mate.
Go ahead and give us your thoughts.
Yeah. Everyone is. Twatotela mwebali ya manifesto kupanga plani yacho muntu akesa ichitalipo ekyumuntu ambi okutasha n'okwango kuchana chiwama manifesto yaine bakainde balelanda bamweni okuchana nebonga naisana lasa chitapeta iyo panchitaja ile ina maina Zambia ni bati minukuka ngana isa ine fiyo ikesava patufu kwacha iya ni manifesto ngana isa ine zinani ivintu byo bala ile fingi ifitata dishtika isalengere babashite convince amazambia ni bomfuwe cost of living iyo bakainde bapanga niza cost of living yewe babumbira bali filwa again bambu kupanga same cost of living nize mwe abena Zambia abantu barechula and then umuntu ngaba dictate ubufi cause satani chambire kupanga po number 1 apangile plan iya abufi iyo alaya kwanisho kusta convince bali abantu abali mu bali ayedeni abule sabikire apanga plan kina station pokuti bali ya mfo apanga ubufi ubulelandikwa kuli bakainde ubufi balelanda ubufi kwati umuntu waba mu bwina Kristo afija ishima tubufi mune ni chiruba ili aishire muno mukantire nishinja kanono eno bale ishimika ala ndibe deawa asta bonse esimbo bakwetesi manifesto tala ndiri
mukurekeresha
ama president ayapanga president amanote alira manifesto ngabena Zambia naba dictate no bufikula mfobu mune ninga in conclusion ava nabali kongola in 4 years bali kongola 14 billion ba PF bali kongola 14 billion in 10 years and the infrastructure eyo bakula po mu Zambia mu Ngalanda ni uyu muntu alifirwa enna mumvimbi tieni no lubutu mwelina Kristo mwebale
Let's talk about it as many callers. We keep your message very brief and concise. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello.
How are you?
Yes, we are very fine, thank you. How are you?
Good
morning.
Good morning. I'm calling from Sansia.
Hey, kusamthi yako network shani?
I'm fine. And yeah, sir.
Konkanya nipo napi swati kusamthi network ya hisho. We just
manifesto gonsekera katika visa yalalanda kumkwai no manifesto sio yava gonsekera ni plan hapo ni plan tatua simona kwa zitekero kwa watu jara bombe kanyo ifoti vile kutekere simoneke so ino istatu yanda ni ya campaign so gonse baba leita pa campaign balele ta manifesto ikoje telefone ya kumone simoneke kipa ground ishi bombe ke tetuleta sha ngata chanda wa makundo kwa bati simutuleta sha ishi moneke nombanga kula tashe bishira moneke sili mukano ashi akulanda tetesi kula tashe sili moneka eko fili moneke betuleta sha nachi moneka badi sili moneka sili na tesi pa ground dikomona kwa fili tesi moneka ngana na yaba nati nyuma kanga kurenga nderenda na mashikoite lero shishire kuweta ke sembono wabu
tatotera.
Moneka tatotera mukwa.
Thank you so much, Madam Petronella. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Dash. How are you this morning?
We are very fine, thank you. How are you?
Awesome.
Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So, naine nikambe kupankanya manifesto hii. In the first of all, funo yamikira boma ya UPND koleta ko free education. Free education ni ya muntu ali wonse olona kalamba olondiwe mungono wabwerera kusulwa chitako cha understand my basics of what the president was trying to talk about yesterday. Niwona kuti venango vadanda ula vina vapita. Previously, prior to 2021, tenze na manifesto yaba UPND vanatiuza ya yenze 10-point plan. So tikaenda ku 10-point plan, tikachekinga ni vichanu vamene vanachita achieve mu 10-point plan. Ndiye manifesto hiyo. Vasiana na voka mba vijanga tulipa podium kamba. Manifesto is a guide plan of what you hope to achieve once you get into the office. But no one munga vamswash to understand. Yesterday's manifesto na yeve ni ampamvu kwa mbili. Wanatipa sati 10-10-5-3-3-1-1. Already bali kudala mpipeline. Ni 10-10 naona kuti teach takudala achieve. How? There's a directive from the president kuti constituency ilionse ifuni konkala na 2 megawatts. Mchina ma constituency angati Mzambia, and then when you put ma 10 plus what the nation is doing outside these 2 megawatts from each constituency, that is a lot of megawatts. So sinu wanatamena danda kuti tizakangiwa kulipe vamene wakamba. Manifesto is simply a guideline or a pipeline on which someone is working towards to achieve whatever they have planned to achieve. Same nankania milisi. Na eve tilichabe bwino. Matuaristi na eve wanapanga kudala tantiko ndandamiko on how to achieve those 5 million chan tourists. So, I manifesto ili bwino maningi, especially that wanamba kudala kui 7 zerapo. Mwe wantu manifesto is not that by 7 zerapo. Previously, before 2021, boma inakamba kuti pamene wanangena mu office yenze disaster economy. So kuti manje basebenzire pafika pamene bafika hapa. Ni pamene manje bamba kukamba kuti mu province zachitavaso after ground waipanga clear mu bantu ba mulungu tizivesesa ba president bakamba kukamba no konka machani mwamene yaendera.
Thank you so much.
Titukuko izikomo nati kapena tilondoloreko bantu amene swachita understand manifesto nakambiwa yesterday. Provincial development ibwera manje now that the first part has been done in the 5 years. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your contribution. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, team.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm okay, Mike.
All
How
right.
are you, Mike?
We are very fine, thank you. How are you? I can tell that the energies are there, and it's a good sign. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, especially when I see the good friends trying to reconcile.
Oh yeah.
It happens. Ndashi, good morning.
Good morning. I love your energy.
We put our past behind.
My name is Smakalanga Elvis, calling you from Rwanda.
Please go ahead, Mr. Elvis, and give us your thoughts.
Please. I just want to salute the manifesto and the deliberation by the president. Because Zambia was like a Trump ship. No fixed route, no fixed timetable. It was just a ship which was just going on and on without any proper direction. The president first, he had to tell the nation things that brought hardship to most of the Zambians, especially the debt that was accrued, unity among the Zambians, the low productivity which was promoted by handouts from the previous government. So all those things as Zambians, let us try to get 1 or 2 points out of it, because there is no way how a nation can progress when you are entangled with the huge debts. And this is just similar to most of the companies and other parastatal companies. You find that from where we are coming from, most of the workers, they've accrued a lot of loans. And it is upon those companies probably to assist the employees by buying out the loans so that maybe their employees can produce more. The government has emulated this by buying out the Eurobonds. Why can't even other companies and the other parastatal companies emulate the same? Please work well, my family.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely day as well. We really appreciate your contribution at this particular morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mwashuken from Kwai.
Yeah, I'm quite much weekend.
Madam, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Vanamwa.
Vanamwa bakonkanya nipo.
Mkwai. Ba UPND launching at 7 shani. But at 7 point. Hello?
Yes.
At 7 points plan. Contrition is 7 shani.
The 10 point plan.
Mkwai. Ba UPND ba ishilena 10 points plan.
Yeah.
Your 10 points plan. Well, it start deliver for to elect for Zambians. Because we UPND vale promise fertilizer 250. Ubunga 50 kwacha. Muli 10 points plan. But it start deliver. Money if you have an hour babumbiri. Bali shama infrastructure. Iyo airport vale but sausage airport. Bali kongwele mpia. Bali start deliver ama infrastructure. Ayo tule muna post kwalelo. Ayo bale ndelamo foningalanda. Bali lelo ba UPND mpia shuba kongola batu wala kuisa. Kongola mpia for consumption. Then all about to a little pillar debt restructuring. Ukochita in Congola, you have a case, Pilavana, they sava kuntashi, but you will probably in fact to a little pillar Congo, and did not have Congola even more than the PF, because the PF we are able to save for Babon Benefiance. By UPND, by HS without Bill 7, Gasha, Gatataw in my elections. Why Valan Dinefil? My one. Why balance the so but then using amafunde ya kufia fiengo weba tiwaka wine ama elections if you have shakastika amazana twachula yo bale what for education tapala for ile bomba ile mpyo twale kwanisha yako ile baba businesses yali bwino but no businesses yali wata tushtisha kama amutown kula umwajera bakaso kubipoko tundalama yo kula lipilisha abantu atiyo twalifunya kadarism yo abalipo bale ipaya Ulia kungo baipe kula ku northwestern tali muntu mwaimuna olo kukula na chituletasha kuchi watasha chota umwene batasha echo wa mwene like if yabombera bayashiba isiyo mpasho wabo tusha muchibote na namba tuchiri tulebe kusha family mo babombere teba UPND yabayisapa tule chalo ko patre chalo kute kuchita unit chiswa ngombe bwe
tatotera mkwai. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, Mashuken.
Mkwaye Mashuken.
Yeah, man. Ni ku Crown yuko.
Ni ku Crown kuno ni banani? Bareti mina kwisa.
Ndeti mina kuwa province.
Ishina chini banani?
Ishina ni nevo Mulenga Jackson.
Ba Mulenga Jackson konkanya nipo.
Mkai. Iyo kwena ni manifesto ine ile landu hapo. Wala manifesto yena ya ile mbwasi. Ero tuimonecho balela ndakwate kufikirisha. Elio kunumoku nakuruma ba UPND balirangiye ati dola ikabwera pali musango ubunga bukabwera pali shante manifesto ilya kene zepe tulabe kairi ino nshita yakutuzembereka ukweba ati bomfwe sweet sana ngafyachinja twabasala bakesa taninga so ukulanda pali manifesto tulande pali cost of living ati mwe bantu twalanda chikireshi tuyalande icho nde papa nebo chakweba ati balera bokweba ati ukuba pabutungulushi kukonkanyapo onchokeza pona bobene nga bafuma kutekweba ati fifine bashi bengasha nisha tefike kalibira iyo fikala aya nga population yabantu ilishani abantu bale abalekwa that's why mumwenene nendalama sha CDF kutira shifike kuri 40,000 mulandu wako population ile nina so the monafike kwadinali mo ba Yesu abale puisha fyo bwaza ero nomba chindi ama statement yambe alevi panela yakwe bati buno buteko ebo abomba sana okuchira bumbi nomba ngatabale bomba ebo abantu echo balelira pesa sana mikalire road shedding ine tatfiro kuba chetekera kandi tuishive nga twabasala nakabiri bakesa chinja amano ero tulande papintu ifingi corruption twalitimo kumfwapo ekishinka kuli yali amakontena yangirwa ya miti kyonse bayikalapo vetondolo takwaba kuchitapo lishafo minister uli wonse bona bababika fe kusaidi kwisamwe watati otwako nemirandi tabeshi babantu icho babayesesesha nomba mwandini hii manifesto tatuichetekere ero kwena ngani mumbi abantu abo bonse bale landa tiyo ilife bwino balolere ikabe background ero nomba bakayibake session nkisha pantu tuli batoma mufibala rombo mwana
Twatera Mkwaye 0979958392 is the number. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I'm calling you from Chirondo. My name is Solomon. Good morning. My regards to everyone there.
Thank you so much, Mr. Solomon. Go ahead and give us your thoughts.
Thank you. The UPND, prior to 2021, they gave us a manifesto of 10-point plan, which they have delivered. They said they are going to increase production. We've seen production is happening. They are going to introduce free education. Now it's law. No one will say let's remove just by word of mouth. It has to be taken back to Parliament, or it must go for a constitutional review. That's the delivery. When they say you're going to end the violence, yes, it has been reduced. You know, the breakdown in Lusaka, just a breakdown near that filling station, near intercity bus terminal. You can imagine just fixing a car. Cadres came and demanded for money from a mechanic that we had hired to fix a car. If you're not going to give us money, move this. If vehicle is broken, that's how Zambia was gone because of PF. When they say ungawa 50 kwacha sunaone, when you grow your own maize, you are going to buy mealie meal for 50 kwacha because that is yours. But if you don't grow, don't expect mealie meal to go down. I remember during that crisis 2 years ago, on the queue, people fighting for mealie meal. I didn't know the best thing. Let me plant my own maize. I can't afford to lose my life over a bag of mealie meal on the queue or over stampede. Also, let me grow it. And here I am. Since then, I've never been in any shop or any shop to go and buy mealie meal. I get my maize take it to a grinding mill, come and eat. So those saying, unga 50 kwacha, unga 50 kwacha, if you grow it, it is there. But when you go and you never find it. That is the reality. Zambia now is a shining example globally. Kwacha is being voted as being the best currency. As we who live in borders, we see truckers coming to buy fuel. In Zambia, they are driving all the way from South Africa to Zambia because fuel is cheap. So Zambia is on the horizon. They've delivered. Look at Lusaka, Ndora Road to a carriageway. It's a marvel. Foreign truckers are appreciating. Those who've driven Masangano, Pisenga Road is a fantastic road. So
Thank you so
when
much.
they say people are not, the government has not delivered, Lusaka is now a construction site. Wherever you go, the roads are being expanded. You people, you must testify your Crown TV. You are seeing all those things happening in Lusaka. Zambia it will be a Dubai of Africa, I submit.
Thank you so much. Now, Dash, there's pretty much interesting, comments and contributions coming through from our viewers there. But also, among some of the things that they've boasted of getting to achieve the UPND, yesterday we did get to see that they did unveil, they set out 7 economic goals that they sought to do, among which is, excuse me, which is actually projected to generate approximately about 65 billion United States dollars in annual economic value for Zambia, creating over 2 million new jobs. Now, this is in the area of electricity generation, where they're looking forward to have 10,000 megawatts of power generation, also 10 million tons of maize production. They're talking about 5 million tourist arrivals. That's what they're getting to project. 3 million tons of copper production, 3 million tons of soya production, 1 million tons of wheat production, 1 billion United States dollar of beef exports. This is just what they have set out in the areas of, economic growth, really, as they get to seek the other term into office.
I think one of the callers had actually mentioned that all of this is said, I think it was Mr. Moses. He mentioned that this is all on paper. It would be nice to see if all of these projected outcomes are actually going to be translated into something that's more concrete. But we have seen in the past 5 years how majority of these economic goals have actually come into place. I mean, the fact is that the kwacha is one of the best performing currencies at the moment. And it does reflect on how the kwacha has been appreciating over the past couple of months. Creating 2 million jobs is not something that is easy, although we have seen quite a number of sectors have more jobs being created for them. We've seen how there was the introduction, or the reintroduction of Mulungushi Textiles, which is set to, create more jobs for more people, which is one of the goals that is actually projected in the 7-goal plan for economic progression, and also to create more jobs for the youth because they do have innovative ideas. And the president has mentioned the fact that, the young people ought to be put out there so that they're kept away from getting involved in violence and, violent activities and doing things that are less productive. So the 7-goal plan hopefully is something that is not just on paper, but it's something that is actually going to be implemented if we do see them re-elected in this upcoming election.
That is what every Zambian is obviously looking forward to. But obviously, man, you know that it's a Friday, and we're just getting to touch base on some of the biggest stories that this week has carried us through, even as we're getting into the weekend. Remember that on Tuesday, it was a national mourning day, as the president had declared, where we're getting to put to rest the late Mpezeni Yamakosi the 4th. Now, we're going to be transitioning from the laws of parliament to the ancient customary laws of the Ngoni kingdom. We want to find out what happens when a king dies, and we're going to be getting to get into how the succession obviously goes, after that, who becomes a king and how do they get to ascend to that particular throne. We'll be getting to have this particular discussion later on, and also come through because there is obviously a 1 year of mourning according to the Ngoni royal establishment when a king dies. So they're still in mourning for that particular period. You can still come through and just get to share what some of your fond memories are with the late Mpezeni the 4th. But for now, let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll be getting into that particular discussion. Stay with us.
Bakanda mungoni pansi pochicholilima sunga pele ungoni warutirira ungoni aetumani foni kubomae kutimbiri ungoni arutirira aelebani karata kubomae kutimbiri ungoni arutirira aetumani foni echaro chonse kutimbiri ungoni arutirira Chauta nyamalenga sasa ni mtendere Isiro shaka sulu siyabonga kakulu Siyabo Inyande sulu swangenda siyabonga kakulu Siyabo Inyande sulu mpezeni siyabonga kakulu Inkosi yamakosi King Mpezeni otipunzisa kuti tikopemphererana tikokhululikirana osunga miyake soziwika mayete ndisiyamakosi bakanda mungoni pansi pochicholilima sunga pele ungoni warutirira ungoni aetumani foni kubomae kutimbiri ungoni arutirira aelebani karata kubomae kutimbiri ungoni arutirira aetumani foni echaro chonse kutimbiri ungoni arutirira
Welcome back to the Royal Breakfast Show, the Friday edition of it on Crown Television. We're in the third and final hour of it, and we're getting into one of the biggest stories as well, where the passing and burial aftermath of Paramount Chief Mpezeni IV. He was born David Njengembazo Jere, and he passed away on the 30th of May 2026 at the age of 75, ending a historic 44-year reign.
Now, he was laid to rest inside the cattle kraal at Mpezeni Palace in Chipata on Tuesday, and traditional experts actually noted that this broke away from the initial plan of using the Feni Royal gravesite, which reinforces the core Ngoni customs. So Chief Mazimawe explicitly stated that the kingship originates from the kraal. Therefore, the transition to the afterlife must also begin there.
Now, the burial actually brought together a fascinating geopolitical and traditional mix. We did get to see Malawi's King Mbelwa V leading the Ngoni delegation from Zimba, and notably Kalonga Gawaundi of the Chewa people made a rare public appearance. Now, this is highly significant given there's been a little bit of a historical territorial disputes between the Chewas and Ngonis dating back to the 1870s, and recently, as of 2015, so him getting to show up there did also just get to see that there's, cultural unification there happening.
And also, it kind of speaks volumes about the unifying legacy of Mpezeni the Fourth. But now, the king has actually been planted. The massive question lingering across Zambia and the diaspora is, what happens next? So let's break down the facts. And this is based on, the recorded Ngoni customary evidence that we have for you.
Now, Dash, there is pretty much a lot of misinformation flying around on social media regarding who takes over. There's all of these particular issues. But the Ngoni royal establishment, according to what it states, there's the longevity, for example, of how long they do get to mourn when a king dies.
You actually mentioned earlier on that it should be in and around a year. And according to the explicit announcements that was actually made at the burial by the King Mbelwa V and the Ngoni royal establishment, a traditional mourning period of exactly 1 year is in effect. So that's quite interesting.
It is.
Because if we are, or if they are mourning for a year, does that mean that there's now room for us to keep on powdering our cousins?
No, it does not mean that. There's nowhere where it was actually stated or written. The powdering, whatever you guys were doing, ended the day that the king was planted, actually. Now, obviously, during this 1 year period, all standard paramount chief functions and major cultural activities, including the famous Nchwala ceremony, formally suspended, and the Ngoni nation remains in a state of solemnity. And obviously, now the question is, who gets to govern during this particular mourning period?
That's a very good question. But to prevent a leadership vacuum or succession friction, Senior Chief Nzamani the Fourth will continue to head the administrative functions of the Ngoni royal establishment.
Concurrently, King Mbelwa V announced that a designated crown prince will act as a regent to handle the immediate office duties of paramount chief until the coronation takes place next year.
Now, the question is also about the ascension of the throne and how the successor is actually appointed. Well, the Ngoni are strictly patriarchal, and they are also a patrilineal society. So succession strictly follows the male Jere lineage, descended from King Zwengendaba.
Social media has pointed out that Mpezeni the Fourth left behind a daughter and no son. Now, customary experts note that this does not create a succession crisis. The throne does not automatically pass to a chief's eldest child. Instead, the successor is chosen from eligible brothers, nephews, or paternal cousins within the royal house.
And the appointment process is handed entirely behind the palace walls by the royal elders, the Indunas, which are the headmen, and also the kingmakers, where they do evaluate the candidates. And this is based on the lineage purity as well as their character, which is very fundamental. And King Mbelwa V has tasked the royal family to present the nominee swiftly in order to avoid the prolonged uncertainty and also the official coronation, which will occur at the end of 1 year mourning period, which is exactly 1 year from now.
There's some exceptional clarity there, but now the government, through the Ministry of Local Government Permanent Secretary Nicholas Piri, has also appealed to the Ngoni royal establishment to maintain an orderly transition, given that Zambia currently faces over 56 traditional succession disputes. That's how it's looking like right about now. So we are waiting to get to see when the next king will be coronated. That is obviously after 1 year of mourning, according to the customs that govern the Ngoni royal establishment. So yeah, we are in a state of mourning. We are still mourning, actually, but there is no powdering.
We need clarity on the powdering because we have unfinished business. I saw one of the texters, I think it should have been Samuel, who was asking if our war is done.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the war is going to come back.
Nah, I'm hoping it doesn't, come back, obviously. We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there.
I mean, it's very possible. But let us know your thoughts on the coronation, as well as the fact that we are still mourning, or the Ngonis are still mourning for the next 1 year until they do have a king who's going to ascend to the throne. You can always send us your text message on 0979 958 392. We're also live on our page as Crown TV Zambia. Look at that. And they are happy
they've
been powdered. Other people are quite sad.
Yeah, other people were quite sad because obviously the how everything else happened is what made them sad. You don't go on national television and start pouring things on people.
But look, their whole body is engulfed in powder. You just had your face and your shoulders.
It is a tradition, and obviously, being that kind of an event, I don't call it an event really, but as a process of such magnitude, you are ready for anything.
Chief Chitimukulu said we need to preserve our culture, and that was us preserving the culture by showing it live to show that.
Congratulations, you did an amazing job.
Even the younger generation needs to continue with these things,
definitely, this is something that is going to go on from generations. It has been passed on from generations to generations, and it can't stop now. You see there, that's I've seen Honorable Kawuswe there. That's Felix Mtati, Honorable, and I was just getting to, enjoy themselves in that particular moment as members. That's the Frank Tal is there as well. I can be able to see. This is it? I've forgotten his name. Oh my God! But it's Commerce and Trade, I think, somewhere there. But also I've seen the Akatun Tulus getting to do the practice of what they were taught to do by their Bemba chief.
Exactly, and there's also Honorable Alvis Nkandu as well.
That's Akatun Tulu there.
But he's the one who's doing the powdering, on behalf of the Bembas, of course, which is a way of us preserving our culture and our traditions, and it's to be passed on year in, year out. We do wait because they are still in mourning. You are still in mourning.
Yes.
So we are hoping for that confirmation because we have our ammunition already in our bags, just in case. I'm sure you saw also, it should have been Miles,
you have your ammunition,
yes,
ammunition in your
so
bag.
that we can shoot you on your head again with the powder. But Honorable Miles Sampa also, he posted something very interesting. It was a big truck of powder. It's a branded powder, very, very good brand. And basically he was saying that we are armed with the powder. So if you're found wanted, we are going to come for you.
No, I was also getting to see some AI-generated pictures of Cosmos being named the Powdernator. The Predator, the Terminator, but now he's, the Powdernator there. An amazing job that they did. But obviously, one thing that I did get to see that was so very funny about all this was Henry BJ Piri. He plays Uncle Imbani. He does these skits on his social media where he's saying "Masu's your wife," and then he was actually getting to tell the Zambia Wildlife Authority that there's a record that we are short of monkeys on the eastern side, and there was a lot of monkeys that we did get to see. Metaphorically, he was saying so far it's been well. And Zawa, use your logic.
Wow.
To actually see to it that these monkeys don't cross over the river coming back to Lusaka. Let's distribute them, to these national parks that we have around, because we can't be complaining of having a scarcity of monkeys when there's just a lot that have presented themselves voluntarily. But yes, it's been well, and we're hoping that Zawa
with a bit of logic.
Yeah, with a bit of logic there was used by Zawa to ensure that rather those monkeys never crossed back. Really. So we're talking about the aftermath of Mpezeni burial. Kindly get to share with us what your fond memories. Did you at any point also equally just get to have a moment to be in the presence of Chief Mpezeni the Fourth? How was the experience like? A lot of people have actually talked about how a man he was in terms of getting to be outspoken. He was very straightforward with his words. He could just tell you open bluntly about something that he feels is not right and all that, and they got to appreciate it also, and just his welcoming, hospitality at the hospitality, heart of hospitality, so to speak. Everybody else could just be in his presence and feel safe. He was a father, he was a provider to many. He was somebody that fought for and advocated for quite a number of farmers as well, like people that have cited him or quoted him rather, being somebody that advocated for their interest in terms of farming inputs being delivered on time and everything. So he is really that particular man that has left a huge legacy behind. But we do have a caller, and let's just get to find out what they do have to say with regards to the aftermath of Mpezeni burial. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you calling us from?
Yeah, just to greet the panel there, Mr. Mike Mwashibukeni Mwabukabuti Muzuile Chwan, although I cannot see Mr. Makoko, and how is the lady there?
I am good.
Good morning to her also. She's looking
fine.
very nice, of course.
No, I'm good, thanks. I'm
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
thanks.
Nizwile ande na mukaka wotu I'm okay.
Mwashibukeni
All
Bukwai.
right, this is the young politician, the one who will sometimes be greeting all the seven languages of Zambia, even more than that.
Ah,
But
lovely.
just to, yeah, for sure, the young politician calling you from Mongo, Western Province.
Kindly give us your thoughts after the burial of Mpezeni. How are you remembering him?
This man, for sure, I'm telling you. I remember last time when I was in Solwezi, then I traveled to Chipata. We were going to Katete, where there was some Vama sunflower. There was my sister, Mrs. Tyson in Senanga, that used to go that side. So I remember when I passed it through, was it before Katete, there's this taxi that goes to Petra. Okay. So they were saying that the chief, the paramount in Kosiama Coast is coming from this. Then when I saw him, then he was in the jeep, then he lowered the glass, then he was like waving. Anyway, ninutwile hande ninamvera bwino naumvire tuurongo tu naumvire kutachwa imwani naushanga narunda. You know, it was very nice, and then I looked at him face to face. I like, this man has ruled us for 44 years. From 1982, how many chiefs in Zambia, please? You know, as a young politician calling from Mongo, I've lived in Solwezi, I've lived in Dola, Kwachifuvu. I saw Mr. Frank Tayari when they were doing some powders, and Mr. Poka this way. I saw what Poka Mulenga was coming to. You know, that trip made me very, very happy. You know, as a young politician calling from Mongo and going around in all the 10 provinces. I married from the Dembaland, but my first girlfriend was from the Tongaland. Please, not please, David. No, I'm just calling you. I'm here in Mongo, Kasima area. But I remember him. Okay, Kosiaman Kosi, I feel good because he has ruled us for 44 years, and there are very few. Our own here, what was the Tunga? He's 25 now, also he's going to 26 in Jubilee. So I'm calling you from Western Province, and I feel very good to hear that you guys, Mr. Mike, although I've missed Mr. Marco there. But please, after Mark, I just want to say, may he so rest in peace. And that we always love him, and we always remember him, this man.
Thank you so much.
There's one thing that I wanted to talk. Can you allow me for just 1 minute?
We have to accommodate another caller. Yeah.
Yes, the other thing was like, I was very worried when they called up on the funeral to say any representative from the BRI, then I couldn't see anyone. I was like, what is happening? When I started finding out, they say, Kubalozi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Then later on, the next day, that's when they said the representative for Mukela Manyando. Like, oh my God.
Thank you so much.
That is why he's a young politician. He really can politics. Hello, good morning.
Me today.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Munonge.
It's chilly here. We are okay, my friends. How are you?
We are
We are
good.
very fine, thanks.
It's also chilly here. It was hard to wake up.
Yeah, it is very, very, very difficult for me to come through.
Yeah, there's a lot of traffic.
With regard to Mpezeni, I think we talked a lot about him. He has been a very good chief who united people, who spoke his mind. And even in his days, you have seen how much people have appreciated him in unity. Okay, and like other people wanted to use the death in dividing people, but his death has united people, has brought people together, and that's what it should be. And when you talk of people have been long on the throne, I think in Western Province we have the Inyambo from Mwandi, though not at the level of Mpezeni, but at least he has been there for over 40 years as well. Okay, because he became the chief in 1978 and only passed on 2024, somewhere there. So at least he has been there for some good years also in Nyambo, in Western Province. We just pray even our current Litunga here to be such long. And you know the significance of a public leader or a chief, for me, is to save his people, to protect the people, according to God's guidelines he gave to the kings of Israel. Save especially the poor, the oppressed. That's the significance of being a chief. If a chief, especially those who are selling land, not protecting their people, I think they're not supposed to be chiefs. But for the chiefs who are really saving the people, It's good to have them. And unite people's life also in the death. That's what we want. I don't know whether you can allow me also to comment on the manifesto, whether other people are commenting, and I couldn't be through, I tell you.
You can go ahead.
Yeah, with regard to the manifesto of UPND, you know, a good leader has a vision, and that vision will culminate into a plan on how he wants to serve his people. That's what UPND has always done. So for people who are saying, no, in the last 10 points, what have they achieved? Are we in Zambia? Are those people in Zambia or outside Zambia? Free education was part of the 10-point plan. Don't we have free education as law now? Production of food. Here it is, 5 million metric tons. What else do you want? Skills development, skills whatever, all those with young people. Don't we have such today? Creation of jobs, don't we have such today? Peace and all these other people. If these have been delivered, and a difficult time by President Hakainde Chileba, now that the country has stabilized, the economy has stabilized, are you sure they're going to fail in the new manifesto? The answer is no. The only concern I have is vote for someone who is going to work with President Hakainde Chileba to deliver. If you vote an antagonistic, who doesn't see anything good in President Hakainde Chileba, you would have lost it out. We had Mundubile, we see enhanced the CDF. What did he deliver in Porokoso? Because it was antagonistic, nothing. Okay? Not only that, even those of you who wish to vote for independent member of parliament, yes, it's a right. But who is this independent member of parliament? Independent members, unfortunately, you can't hold them, you can't manage them. They are the only bosses. They can use you to vote for them, to help them win. Once they win, to turn around against you, what are you going to do them?
Thank you so much.
After 5 years, that's why you can not vote for them again. You would have lost the entire 5 years.
Thank you so much.
Vote for someone, whether independent or someone who is...
Hello, good morning.
Yes, Mikey, good morning.
Good morning. Is it Chairman General?
Yeah, how are you?
We are good, thanks.
Correct. What? That is your crown?
Yes.
Yeah, what I'm saying is stick on time. You know, this is not a platform for campaigning. It must be a platform whereby ideas they are coming. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting me, Mike?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, people, they should not be talking of. Hello, sir?
Yes.
Yeah. What I'm saying is always stick on the time, because we listen what people they are saying, not whereby someone as if he is campaigning on the line. Give 1 minute, either 1 minute and a half. Follow you, then he goes out. Otherwise, here in Chasefu, we have got a lot of problems. You know, the Lord, Lunda's Chama Lord, is untouchable. It's a very bad Lord. So, what is there is, let's see development all over the country. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you so much. You've actually spoken for 1 minute, 24 seconds. We appreciate it. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
We are fine, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm calling you from Bavala constituency, Mapanza, Choma district.
And your name is?
My name's Davari Hotness.
Hotness?
Yeah, Davari.
All right.
Davari PS. Hello.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, my contribution is let all people vote for HH and UPND for continuity.
All right, thank you.
We really appreciate your contributions. 0979958392. That is the number right there that you're using to get in touch with us on. And Mr. Banda calls us from Lundazi. Good morning, Mr. Banda.
Mr. Sagara, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Today you are not fathering my brother.
No. I've spared him.
Okay.
Also considering the fact,
it's just a brief contribution. We just pray to God that after 1 year there must be no. We have another chief, like just like the one we have lost. God gives it's God that gives the leaders. And coming to, if you may allow me, coming to the manifesto, Mr. Ndashi, let me tell you the truth. Let the UPND members, as the head of state stated yesterday, go flat out and explain to the people, because the truth is this. These people should explain where it started first. The scrapping of the subsidies and all these areas that made us to tighten the belts. They were never explained to the people. That's why you find that people cannot appreciate what is going on. The problem with the members in the UPND, they have just grown horns without explaining to the masses on the ground. That's why background is part of the situation is not good, because the problem is people do not understand all the programs that are the policies that have been put in place. This is what will disadvantage the UPND in the coming elections. Another one, the policies, me, I support the policies. I'm not against them. They are driving us somewhere. I'm a man who is based here. I'm a Christian. The problem is that even if, for example, the CDF, there's the components of loan that Mr. Takala. The problem is those people who are supposed to be reading examples in the UPND have gotten loans since 2022. They are not paying back. You see, now frustrating the policy now of the government. Them who should have been reading examples. They are the people who are frustrating in our examples. You know, this is where the whole system now is distorted. They are not helping the head of state to explain the truth to the people or to lead by example. As a result, the civil we know. I wish if had access to the head of state. I could have just explained the truth to say he's not being helped. He's all alone. People are doing the opposite. Him is driving the country to the other direction. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your contribution. Mr. Malonda, good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
Yes, how is Ndola this morning?
It's okay, as always.
All right, go ahead and give us your thoughts.
Thank you. I'm hearing people talking about UPND and the manifesto, when the question is on the aftermath of Mpezeni burial. However, not much is being heard of after the burial on Tuesday. What's going on? Pendukeni or whatever. The name is. Now, just like the South African chief, or is it king, who was at the funeral, advised that the family should sit down and look at who should take over. I think usually we have problems whenever there are issues of who should become new king or chief. So the family now should at least look at who is fit or who is supposed to be there according to the custom, according to tradition. Otherwise, there will be issues, no problems, whereby such in Zambia, in many places, where people, they'll say, no, it's this one, no, it's the other one, whatever. So I think here, let's look at how the family will do it. They should do it peacefully. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your contribution. Mr. Nyarenda calls us from Katete. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, panel. Good morning, Dash.
Good morning, Chairman General.
Your Chairman General, I think I'm the last caller.
Yes, sir, you should be.
The Chairman General should always lead and not to be led.
Exactly.
Thank you. This is Mr. Nyarenda from Katete. I've listened to a lot of callers and their concerns and their views. I think people are now understanding the policies of UPND, and that's why you've seen a lot of callers appreciating what UPND is doing and has done. When we say those few that are still daring, Nizi Vambiri, Vasdi vanoziva kuti ma policies ya UPND they are good. But because of just to say okay in a niliuku, I cannot support UPND. Why do I say so? The ground is fertile. A ground palibuino. Just to have a borrowed word. A ground palibuino. Chifukwa chone nauti my grandson mzukuru wanga is going to to school for free. The daughter to my niece is going to school on a free basis. So whoever is saying background because each and every child, mwana wa mkuru wanga, mwana wa mwono wanga, aenda ku school mahala, and that's why background palibuino. No, you see, even opposition today, they can't talk about the dollar. They are quiet. They have been saying dollar of late. In January, dollar yakwera, we left it at Central. Have you seen Mnduwile talking about the dollar today? He's quiet.
Thank you so much, Chairman General. I think.
Anyway, just because I'm the last caller.
Thank you.
To summarize.
Thank you so much.
The manifesto itself is very good.
Thank you so much for that summary.
With the current government, Mr.
We really appreciate it so very much, and we appreciate and value your contribution on this particular program. Yes, it is a Friday edition of it, Dash, and interesting remarks coming through from our viewers.
Yeah, very interesting remarks. Also, they've just been speaking to the manifesto that was launched by the UPND yesterday. And there's some positive reviews. Others, they're trying to beckon and attest to how the other manifestos have been coming up. But otherwise, very interesting views that have been coming through. Also, about the late Paramount Chief Mpezeni, the fourth as well. There were a few comments with regards to how people are going to remember him as well.
Mm-hmm. Interesting enough. What has been your highlight of the show, even as we are looking at time right about now?
I think the highlight is the fact that we have to wait a whole year before we find out who's going to be ascending to the throne and, you know, who is going to be coronated as the next king of the Ngonis.
That is how it has been like. It's been a lovely ride, and we thank you for being a part of it as well. For tuning in to today's edition of the Royal Breakfast Show, being a Friday. It's not easy waking up so very early, considering the fact that it's getting very chilly in most parts of the country, has been obviously evidenced or even confirmed by a lot of you that have called in to say it's quite chilly in your various places. It is equally chilly here in Lusaka, and so we are always indebted to coming through every 6 hours to giving you nothing but the very best of verified information. You can always trust Crown Television for that balanced dissection or getting analysis of all of these current affairs issues that we do get to have in the country. It's been an awesome weekend. We're getting into the weekend, so wishing you all the best on behalf of Mr. Marco Kwakozi, on behalf of Mainza Mbala, on behalf of Ndashi Mataka, who is here, and on behalf of everybody else that is part of the production. My name is Mike Sakala. The next time you're going to be seeing us here will be on Monday at exactly 6 hours. But for now, continue watching Crown Television. Remember that the biggest countdown in the top 10 is on today at exactly 16 hours. So join me as we get to count down the biggest 10 songs in Zambia at the moment. For now, until then, continue watching Crown Television. Stay blessed.
Bye.